folks, my name is Allie D'Andrea. Welcome back to another episode of Source to Smoke. Tonight we are grilling up something delicious. We are making elk barbecue sliders. These are smoked low and slow on our Oklahoma Joe's Tahoma 900, and they came together beautifully. I cannot wait to share this recipe with you guys, so let's jump right into it. First things first, we need to mix up our brine. Now, the reason why we are brining our meat is because we're cooking with wild game. And wild game is very, very lean. It has virtually no fat. And if you've ever smoked meat before, you know that the fat really helps protect the meat and lock in moisture during a long smoke. So to combat the dryness, we are brining our elk roast. So to get this brine going, I'm first combining 2 cups of water in a saucepan with some kosher salt and brown sugar. You only need to bring it up to a medium-low heat, just enough to make sure that salt and brown sugar dissolves. Then we're adding in some spices and seasonings like mustard seed, peppercorn, paprika, garlic, and a bay leaf. We'll combine all of that together, remove it from the heat, and then we're adding 2 cups of cold water. You can even go as far as to adding some ice to this because we need to cool down our brine completely before we add in our meat. This is an absolutely critical step. If you don't cool down your brine before adding the meat will start to cook. I even threw my brine into the fridge for a little bit until it was cool enough. Then we are going to add our beautiful elk meat to the brine. Today I am using a sirloin butt roast. Now, if you want, you can spend some time trimming away any silver skin or extra fat on the meat. But because I'm going to shred this down for sliders, I'll be able to pick out any tougher spots whenever I shred the meat. I'm going the extra mile here and injecting that brine into the meat to help it act more quickly and really get all the way in and penetrate that meat completely. Cover it with some plastic wrap and then throw that in the refrigerator for at least 24 hours. The next day, you want to take the meat out of the brine and give it a good rinse. Make sure to remove any of the peppercorn or mustard seed that remains on the meat. Then dry it really good with some paper towels, and it's time to go in with our mustard. I'm adding some yellow mustard here that's going to act as a binder for our seasoning. It will also add a little bit of moisture and a little bit of flavor. You want to coat all sides of the meat for this. Now, I'm using a seasoning blend that is actually out of my cookbook, The Butcher's Table. But Oklahoma Joe's offers a lot of different rubs and seasonings that are perfect for barbecue, and I would highly recommend checking them out. Let that sit out on the counter while we go and preheat our grill. Today, I'm cooking on the Oklahoma Joe's Tahoma grill, and this auto-feeding charcoal grill is so easy. It's really a set the temp and forget it. So to get this thing going, I'm first going to add some charcoal briquettes to the hopper, open up my vent, and light a couple fire starters. I'll leave the lid open until I see some smoke begin to form. Then I'll close that lid down and set my temperature. Today, we are cooking at 275 degrees Fahrenheit. Once the grill is preheated, place your meat on the grill uncovered and allow it to cook until it reaches an internal temperature of 165 degrees Fahrenheit. This will take anywhere from 3 to 4 hours. It really just depends on how big of a cut of meat you have, and you want to make sure to spray the meat down every hour. In my concoction, I have some apple cider vinegar and Worcester sauce. After our meat has hit that internal temp of 165, it is time to remove it from the grill and get it wrapped up in some butcher paper. Now to this, I'm adding about 1/4 cup of butter and a few tablespoons of barbecue sauce, and then I'm also spritzing it with some of that vinegar mixture. Return the wrapped roast to the smoker and continue cooking at 275 degrees Fahrenheit until the internal temperature reaches around 205 degrees Fahrenheit. Again, the amount of time this will take varies depending on how thick your cut of meat is, but it can take 2 to 3 more hours. After the roast reaches the temp that you want, remove it from the grill and let it sit for anywhere from 30 to 60 minutes. Next, it's time to shred your meat. I like to wear some gloves and do this by hand, but you can also use 2 forks to pull the meat apart. And after it's shredded how you like it, we're gonna add in some barbecue sauce and mix that up so everything is well coated. Now it's time to put together our sliders. I've got some slider buns, our beautiful smoked barbecue elk, and a little bit of my favorite coleslaw. The time has come to try our beautiful elk barbecue sliders. This was a labor of love. Anytime you are smoking meat on the grill, it takes some time, some love, and some care, but that makes the meal all the more worth it. So let's dig in, shall we? Cheers. Oh. The flavor is phenomenal. Barbecue sauce, sweet but not too sweet. Got a lot of vinegar to it. Coleslaw adds a little brightness to everything, but the smoky flavor that you get from smoking meat on the grill, you just cannot replicate without actually using your grill and creating that delicious smoky flavor. That's awesome. So that is it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. For more episodes of Source to Smoke, you can watch them right here on Oklahoma Joe's YouTube channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one.